Hi, everyone. I am Julia, and I am a somatic trauma and anxiety specialist and shamanic healer. And I am so excited today to welcome Tory Sachs, who is an alignment alchemist. And I am going to pass it over to her so she can give you a little bit more detail on what all of that entails. And then we're going to chat.
Awesome. I am so excited to be here. So, yes, I am an alignment alchemist. So, alignment to me is where healing meets guidance. And I work with Eastern modalities to help bring the body or homes and spaces or pets into alignment. And I work virtually in person.
I love it. Well, we are going to just dive right in. I know that you said that you went through a time where you looked successful on paper. You had a career in sports marketing, major brands, world travel. Was there a moment when you realized that success and alignment were not the same thing?
Oh, totally. I mean, I remember, so at that time I don't know. I'd been holistic for a little bit and like Reiki and Vedic astrology and Ayurveda had been a part of my life. And I just remember being like going to work and when you're working with people and they're just not happy. And I just kept thinking like this something is wrong here. Life and time is precious. And that's actually what made me have my own like eat, pray, love moment and quit my job and move to Spain because I was like, well, learning Spanish and being like conversational in Spanish was really important to me. And it ended up being like this whole like part of my kind of like a hero's journey that I didn't even realize at the time. But I just remember thinking like my life flashed before my eyes. I would have not gotten like some stuff done from my bucket list and like we could have just looked at all this other stuff and considered it fluff. And so that was why I like it started out as a joke. I was in my 30s. I'm like, I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna move to Spain. I'm so unhappy right now. And then I was like, just kidding, that's crazy. That's the craziest thing. And my parents were like, my mom was like, well, you're not married, you don't have kids, and you don't have a dog, so like now's your time to do it. And I was like, okay, so she just like gave me her blessing, and I was like, okay, let's do it. And it was honestly one of it just like it really fell into alignment. So yeah, like on paper, looked like yeah, I was working in sports, but I was miserable. Yeah.
How long were you there? How long were you in Spain?
I was there for 15 months. So when I first was like, I'm gonna move to Spain, it was gonna be like a 3 to 6 month thing. And then when I was getting my visa, I'm like, well, let's just say it's a year. And then COVID hit, and I was like, well, let's just like, that visa runs out, and then like I can be a tourist for 3 months. So I literally took 88 of the 90 days.
Oh
to
my gosh. I love that. So I know you often say that the body is always communicating with us. Looking back now, what was your body trying to tell you years before you were willing to listen?
Oh my gosh, there's been so many things. So like we really want to go down the rabbit hole. How I got into holistic healing and like Ayurveda was kind of the first thing for me was through allergies. So I had really bad sinus infections, like to the point where they were like, you have to come in 3 times a week and get allergy shots. And my body just said no, there has to be another way. But the funny thing is, like, I went through the whole gamut of getting tested for allergies, and at no point did it say that I was dairy intolerant. At no point. And then I'm doing like a year later after finding Ayurveda, I was doing a cleanse and I started reincorporating dairy back in, and it was like knives in the stomach.
Mm.
Um, and I was like, oh, that's why like milkshakes were not my friends, but I just thought it was like, whatever. Like all these things you tell yourself because you're like, well, I'm not getting the normal response that they tell you you're getting, or the doctor said I'm okay, or all these things. But that's so for me, like that has been my journey is really like taking back ownership and sovereignty of all the bodies, right? So I work with everybody really has mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, family systems, ancestral, and the physical body. But a lot of times we're programmed just to listen to the physical body. And so that is really like everything I help people with, I've experienced firsthand of like, I had to go through this to understand like when you are talking to someone and you're getting really excited about something, and then you're like, oh, I need to like maybe you're like this one thing that's coming to mind is I like gave them money for something. It was like years ago. And I realized after the fact that like I felt weird after I did it. That was like a sign like you weren't like your body's like actually you're not in alignment with this person. Like so many little things like that, but we're like, "Oh, like, let's just shrug that off." But that's the body talking to us, and really I'm sure you experienced it too with like your clientele and who you work with. It's us telling people like come back to the body, like listen to that because that's not you being crazy or oh my gosh, I don't know what that was. It's and the more that we do it and exercise that muscle, like if we were going to the gym and like exercising our intuition, like the louder the body is talking to us.
Did you actually start allergy shots?
I didn't. No, no. I was like, no way. And that's how I found Ayurveda. I literally said to the universe or higher power, I was like, okay, we need to figure this out because I'm not doing this. And then I remember a friend told me about Ayurveda and this was 10 almost 10 years to the date. In like 2 weeks will be 10 years ago. And I remember being like, okay, well, that sounds weird. Like tell me, like I'll talk to you in a month about this because then you will have had results or you won't have had results. And I was like, if you have results, then I'll go. And she had some fantastic results, and I was like, okay, I need to go. And honestly, it was life-changing for me.
How long did it take you to see results when you started?
Pretty soon. Pretty soon. Like I went to her and you have to do like the consult and then we started working through food. Working with food. I mean, because food is medicine and food is really one of the quickest ways that we can start bringing the body back into alignment. So I would say within like a few weeks. And then when I did that cleanse, it was like pretty immediate. Stop hanging out with dairy except for like ghee and butter. And I mean, the cystic acne I was having, my face would get really red easily, like all these, oh wow, if I had just like the mucus, all the things like that lethargy, oh, if I had just like eliminated that. So I was eating yogurt like every morning. If I had eliminated that, wow, wouldn't be feeling a certain way.
Were there any other groups, like food groups, that you wound up completely eliminating?
So, funny enough, when I moved back from Spain in 2020, like 2021, um, like after that, around I think it was like 2022, I finally got diagnosed with leaky gut and needed to, so like really needed to heal the gut, but became gluten intolerant or but also, as you know, like as we get deeper into the work, we get more sensitive. So like I can tell if someone cooks something with love just from like an energetic perspective, because that's also like transfer of energy or like the quality of the food.
Well, and I know people always talk about this, which I didn't really get to, I feel like I didn't really get to experience it much in like London, but I know people talk about like Italy, and I don't know if it's the same with Spain, but I have a lot of friends who have talked about, gluten intolerance and dairy intolerance here in the US, but when they go abroad, it's not an issue because they process everything different over there. Did you find that?
Oh, totally. Yeah. So, got diagnosed with leaky gut, healed the gut, and then we had a family trip over back to Europe. And it's interesting because I can pick up the energetics between like mainland Europe and UK, but like I definitely was a lot better over there than here in the States. And that's also why at the time, well, I was already importing the olive oil from Spain, but the regulations with like the EU are much higher. Like it's so much more rigorous, all the testing that things have to go through with the food. Like I mean, even in like beauty products and cosmetics, like what is okay here is like way not okay. I mean, if you just look at like different manufacturers and what they're eating, like the ingredients in Europe. Okay, that's like five ingredients. The ingredients in the United States. Why do we need 20 ingredients? And like half of them I can't pronounce. So yeah, no, I know for sure. I mean, am I like allergic to gluten? Yes and no. It's more about like what is sprayed on, the wheat. That's what I'm allergic to. And so, I mean, again, because like I really have to be a clear channel. So for what I do. So it's like become, okay, let's just get you more pure. Okay, this isn't a pure source. Don't eat that.
So you have a background in both data-driven marketing and then energy work. Do you
Yeah,
think that people create a false divide between logic and intuition?
totally.
In what way?
Well, I think sometimes logic makes people feel more comfortable because it's what's known, but I think it's also like about conditioning, right? Um, Things can be intuitive and make no sense, but completely work for somebody, and be completely illogical. Like, I mean, if we think about like manifestation, law of attraction, working with any higher power, you have to be completely illogical. I mean, especially in like the Kabbalistic principles, like you have to be like, logic, I'm gonna like move you to the wayside. But then, like, I mean, we do need both in life. I mean, you know, even in an energetic perspective, if you're trying to act like a square and you're really a circle, which circles are also very intuitive, right? That's just like not going to work for you. So like logically, you can't be telling yourself that you're a square when you're a circle.
It's funny that you say that because when I started learning, it was a year ago, January, that I started learning my shamanic healing stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember in the beginning, like messaging my mentor and being like, how do I know this is legitimate? Like, am I making this up? Is this, and it just really became like when I work with people doing like shamanic soul restoration or different things and different, I pull through different things. I always tell my clients, I'm like, you have to go with your first instinct. It's really an exercise in trusting yourself and learning to trust yourself because when half the stuff is coming through, if you don't, then it's not gonna, like, you couldn't do it as a job.
Yeah.
You have
No.
to legitimately be like, yes, I see this. And when I do somatic breathwork journeys with people and I do soul restoration and I'm using those types of gifts, it, even though I don't need it, I don't need to be validated. I know what my gifts are.
Yeah.
When somebody is like, oh my God, that makes complete sense. Oh my gosh, like I see this. Yes, I know that that's one of my spirit guides. Like that confirmation helps me be in my logical head and be like, okay, yes, this is real and this is working. And I am still doing, I'm doing everything I'm meant to do, but I am trusting myself and knowing that this is real and it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Completely. So you're like reminding me of like a perfect example. So we talked earlier, like I'm a projector in human design. I have splenic authority. So like the spleen like is very intuitive. And if you're not listening to it, sometimes the message will just go away. So like and typically when I don't listen to my spleen, it's always funny because I immediately like get bit in the butt like real quick. So like here's an example. Like I'm in my car, I'm driving, I see a parking spot and I get a message like don't park there. And the logical mind is like I don't understand. Like this is exactly like all other parking spots. I will fit there. So what I do, I try parking there and I like scratch my car.
Yep.
So like again, I mean logically it doesn't make sense. But like intuitively it made complete sense. So yeah,
Your
there's
guides are trying to
definitely.
help you and you didn't listen.
Yeah, no, totally. And they're like, "See, we told you." And I'm like, "Yeah, I see you." And then I was like, "Yeah, I'm definitely paying attention. Definitely hearing you."
Uh, okay, so I think it was on your website where you said that there came a point when your body was in one place, but your soul felt like it was somewhere else.
Yeah.
How does someone know they're experiencing misalignment versus just like being uncomfortable with growth?
That's a really good question. So I think it's different for each person because we're all unique, right? But I think there are like, so if you're questioning that, then you're probably not in. So what you're referring to is, so I have a Spanish soul. I have like no Latin DNA at all within me. Even though like I go over there and I fit in, like I feel more comfortable. So like that is like my soul energy. And so at the time my body was in the United States. And then like I kind of had this like merging of when I went back over there and I felt one. So if you feel like a duck out of water, if you feel completely out of place, and like literally, you like dive in, you connect, and you're like, okay, is this insecurity? Is this ego? Is this inner child? No, 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 no. Then like that is your soul telling you, hey. But also if you're like, I don't know, I'm craving adventure, like I need to go somewhere else. I need to be somewhere else for a little bit. I think you should follow that even if maybe your soul and body are in alignment, because maybe you just need to experience that energy. There's also this another Kabbalistic principle where we have to go places because we're literally picking up pieces of our soul.
Hmm.
And so sometimes we have to go to certain places 5 times, 10 times, 1,000 times. And sometimes it could just be like, in your same city, oh, like I missed that turn. Oh, I missed the GPS turn. But was it really, or were you just like getting redirected to go pick up a part of your soul? So it could be, it doesn't have to be so drastic, like me being in Texas and then going over to Spain and bouncing around all over Spain. It could just be like, maybe this house isn't right.
Hmm.
Maybe this apartment isn't right.
I love that. I love the picking up pieces of your soul because that's what with soul restoration, that's kind of what we're doing. Like,
Oh my gosh. Okay, I love that. I just was
yeah.
like, I don't know why. I'm like, I told you I channel and I'm like, okay, like this is what's coming through. Like this is what I need to say.
So the shamans believe that when you experience trauma, that a piece of your soul breaks off to stay safe and it goes to these different energetic planes. And that's why when people try and do things like talk therapy
Yeah.
and they have blocks, there's people, the shamans are like, yeah, you can keep trying all you want to try and get that through, but that's just going to be re-traumatizing because it's literally checked out and left the building. Like you have to work with like a shamanic healer to pull it back, or it just has to be like a time when a soul part's just ready to return.
Right.
And
Or like
so,
I think we were talking earlier, you were talking about when you were getting your gifts, it's like, oh, or like this has to get unblocked or this has to be opened or it blossoms and blooms for you to like understand like
yes,
past life, this is what you went through. Or that's why I also love what I do because yes, talk therapy is important, but like I'm literally removing and releasing. Like I'm really like we're getting in there, you know what I mean? So it's
yes,
not like at least when I'm working with my clients, it's okay, like let's come back to the body. I mean, again, back to body, back to body. And that's just part of like through like my teachers and lineage and what has really worked for me because then it's understanding, oh, well, this thing that I like didn't know I needed to heal, it lived in this place. And I didn't realize like I was talking about it, but actually it lived over here. And so we need to repair over here and not like the mouth or anything.
I just have one other big question for you. So, many of the people that you work with are looking for clarity, whether it's in their relationship, business, a move, a next chapter. Why do you think that people get stuck even when they know what they want?
Mm. I think a few reasons. I think some people aren't ready or they think they're not ready, and there's like fear, their like energetic or emotional home is blocking them. And it could also be like maybe it's just not their divine timing yet. There's Ganesha and one of my friends will say, well, because he is so Ganesha is in charge of doorways and divine timing. He's also a part of like patterns and Vedic astrology, but She'll say a lot like, yeah, Ganesh is there to remove obstacles, but maybe sometimes he's hanging out there because you need to learn a lesson.
Mm.
So that could be it. It could just maybe not be your time, or, you know, we're so much stronger than we think we are, but sometimes it's about somebody else seeing that and just giving you that permission to stand in your power. And I think during these times where we need a lot of hope, um, it can be really easy to be conditioned in disempowerment. And so it's easier not to do the thing or have the clarity or be in the confusion.
So I lied. I do have one more question now.
No, you ask me as many as you need to.
So, um, because you were just saying, doing all these things. So, like, you did all the big things, right? You left a career, you moved across the world, you rebuilt your life, you followed a path that most people would call unconventional, right?
Mhm.
So, looking back, what was actually riskier, leaving your old life or staying in it?
Staying. I mean, is it great in the moment? Not always. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I've had a few dark nights of the soul, and I'll probably have some more, but so many gifts. So many. Life is magical,
Hmm.
and I would not have that. I mean, if you had talked to me 10 years ago, I'd be like, what's Reiki? What? I'd be wearing crystals and I'd be like talking to the ancestors and I'd be like, I'd be like telling my family, like, hey, we need to feed the ancestral altar. And like, oh, I talked to the ancestors and they told us that we needed. I mean, that just like, that was not, I would be like, but like what I do is magical. Like alchemist is like when I think about it, it's like I'm putting on the hat. Like I'm putting on like the witchy hat and it's fun and like that's what I get to do and I get to make a big impact on people's life.
It's so funny you say that because cannot even tell you how many times I have said those exact words to people where
Oh,
I have been like, if you would have said to me 2 years ago that I would be a shamanic healer and like returning people's soul parts, I would have thought you were out of your flipping.
yeah,
And
I've been
now I'm like,
like,
this is one of
okay.
my favorite things I get to do. Like, it just, oh, I love it so much. So that was just too funny. Okay, well, thank you so much, Tori, for stopping by and sharing all of your insights. And for all of you who are listening, please take some time today to do what lights you up and sets your soul on fire.